Greetings, Evans. What exactly is this path of awareness, I am asked? In very simple terms, if I have to convey this, I would say, when you leave your mind alone, and anything else that you become conscious of, you are aware of it. It may include even becoming aware of the mind itself. The path of awareness is completely opposite to the paths of the mind. If you see very clearly, all the paths, all the known paths, use the mind. This is one direct path that does not use the mind. That is why the path of self-inquiry, or the path of awareness of the self, or being aware of one's own awareness or consciousness, or realizing how one is pure awareness, itself will directly lead one to the path of that awareness. There are many sacred scriptures. I was just even contemplating right now on the Ribu Gita. It's all just awareness of your self. Self, you may call it as the soul. The soul, the spark that you are. So awareness of the self means awareness of what you are, and non-awareness of what you are not. So simply speaking, you don't live in those things which are not you. You live or you abide by that which is the real you. What is the real you? Pure consciousness. Soul is pure consciousness. Everything else is wound around it. The mind, intellect, emotions, senses, all are bound by the ego. It's the ego that constructs all these aspects. And when the ego constructs all these aspects, it keeps you away from that which you are. It might sound very preachy, but this is something to be experienced. If you move away from the mind, or if you become unaware of the mind, or you do not become conscious of the mind, you automatically settle into that space or that void where there is no mind. Because mind means something that is filled up in that space. Mind cannot be empty. Space is empty. So the more you dwell in the mind, you will see all the constructs being formed in your mind. Let me give you one example. If you're just sitting idle and you are focused on your mind, mind creates thoughts. Mind's contents are the thoughts. One after the other, you'll see the thoughts keep you engaged. Engaged in some illusion, some strong illusion, some fantasy, some imagination, which is not real. The mind is never real. That is why you can sit and think for hours together on the things that do not exist or are not in your reality. That is how the mind creates so much of chaos and unrest. Do whatever. The more you remain in your mind, never there is going to be rest. Never there is going to be that calm. Never there is going to be that peace. never there is going to be that emptiness. And if you see almost all the paths use the mind, it trains the mind actually. It develops and disciplines the mind. And it controls the mind. Mind, the culprit, the cause of all the chaos and problems of life. So the path of awareness talks of not using the mind and guides you how if and what if you do not use your mind itself. And you drop the mind, you drop that tool which you believe is going to take you towards rest. It's not easy as it sounds, I know. That is the why the world prefers working with the mind than without the mind. The path of awareness does not use the mind. It uses your consciousness. You become aware, you become conscious. Those aspects of you that are not the mind. It may begin by becoming aware of the mind itself, the culprit. Because in the start, when you begin observing your mind and becoming aware of your own mind, it is only then that you will notice what play the mind is up to. It is only then you will realize what the mind is really up to. Once you realize, it becomes easier to drop the mind. And it becomes more essential to drop the mind. Simpler way of dropping the mind is shifting into awareness. You simply shift into that which you are, that is pure awareness. You become aware of your own self. When you become aware of your own self, you are automatically discarding and discouraging the mind. You are disengaging with the mind. When you stay and abide with that self for a consistent period of time is when you enter into that blank space where there is no mind. All the scriptures, great scriptures, focus on the self and non-duality, the Advaita scriptures, focus on this. This is the end of all the paths. Non-duality, oneness. Where all the paths merge into this oneness. Oneness means just one isness. There's nothing else. Oneness means the consciousness that you are. Anything you add, like the mind, becomes dual. Immediately it becomes dual. So the path of awareness is very simple to follow, and it begins with becoming aware of the gross aspects of ourselves. The gross body, the grossness around. You become simply aware of things around. You become conscious of things around. Once you start developing that practice of becoming conscious of life within you and around you, you develop the intensity of sharpening that awareness and fine-tuning it towards yourself. All the mighty scriptures and great mystics like Bhagavan Ramana, one of the rarest mistakes, pinpointed straight to the self, straight to the source itself, without beating around the bush. He contributed major works to this world, to those who are interested in beginning at the source itself. For it is said, this path begins at the source, at the destination itself. Straight at the destination. No mincing words. Nothing extra added to it. Straight to the point. That is why it is perhaps very difficult to work with awareness, because we are accustomed to using the mind which is the proof of doership. It keeps us stuck in that doing. Doership is ego consciousness. The mind begets from ego consciousness, and the mind is the tool as evidence of doership. Mind loves to take control and loves to take ownership. That is doership. Hence, it is very difficult for most to give up the mind. In other terms, to give up doership, or in other terms, to give up the ego consciousness. I'll try to share more of such scriptures which directly work on this, which directly reveal higher secrets and truths. That is why it is said this path is for only the ripe souls, as Bhagavan always reminded. When people asked him, why is there no crowd here? He said it is only for ripe souls who can even ascertain what we are talking about here. What I just spoke for in this past 12 minutes will not be ascertained very easily by someone who is in gross consciousness. Only when you become more subtler and subtler can you even grasp what we are talking about here. And if you have grasped that, know that it's very easy to proceed from here. All that you need is your awareness to be invested in the right place. If you can settle your being, your awareness into that space which is the real and eternal, eventually you will catch up with the experiences of that self. And those will be your motivating points or your encouragement to lead you to the final goal. I'll try sharing this beautiful scriptures which are literally unknown to this world, because it's hard to perceive, hard to believe, forget hard to practice, it's hard to even digest. There is something like this, hard to digest that. You can do something without doership, or you can do something without the mind or the ego. Because we are led to always believe, the world makes us believe that you are what you believe you are. You are the false you. The world strengthens that into you, to make you believe that you are that false you. Very hard, very rare, scriptures or mystics can point out to the real you and make you abide in that real you. Only for those who are ready for it. If you have understood even 50% of what has been said here, I believe the path of awareness is yours. It becomes easier for us. We are all practitioners. I don't have mastery in this, but I have very first-hand experiences and glimpses of what this is all about, and that gives me a profound conviction of this path. Much divine love and light to you. Stay blessed.